the board approve the Arizona Risk Retention Trust 2012-13 proposal that includes district property, liability, and casualty insurance. And so, again, I would recommend approval of that.
Do I have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Tram. A second?
Second.
Mr. Saka? Any discussion?
Yeah, I had a question. I know that it had been a long time since we sent it out, since we sent the Risk Trust services out for an RFP, and we had a report last year. I think I brought this up last year, and we had a report that came back that said that Zurich wasn't really able to meet our needs, and I missed that memo came from an insurance company in Payson. And I'm just wondering, that this is one of my questions. We sort of sent it out to a small town insurance company, and I was wondering why that was.
That was an insurance broker, but that was at the board agenda at the time that we did the action item last year. Then Mr. Stapley asked us to consider a bid process, and I asked our purchasing manager, Crystal Corpin, to do that. She went out and did the work, tried to find out all about this and do a bid process, and in a board memo, you got a Friday memo, a report from her saying that the process really is to hire a broker. A broker charges you a fee, which is usually a percentage, a commission on the premium that you pay, and the brokers that she talked to said they would just be recommending the trust anyway, that it's the best value out there. So she asked the board for direction in that memo, and we didn't hear back from anybody asking us to do anything different. So we didn't proceed with hiring a broker to do that.
Okay, but the broker was out of Payson, was there?
No, this is a different broker. This is a local Phoenix broker. I don't remember the name at this point. It was a long time ago.
The letterhead said they were from Payson.
No, that was a different one. That was the one at the board agenda stuff. There was a Phoenix broker that Crystal was referring to. So I'll get you a copy of that letter again, that memo from Crystal Stacy.
So we never did send it out for an RFP?
We didn't. We learned that the process isn't RFP with insurance companies. You don't do RFPs. You hire a broker who then does the research and finds the best buy. But that broker is going to charge you a fee. And the broker that we talked to said, well, you're already in the best program for school districts, so you would be paying me a fee to help you find the trust.
Okay, so
I don't understand. I really have a hard time understanding this issue. The Arizona School Risk Retention Trust is owned by the school districts of the state of Arizona. It's a pool of school districts. It's a program that's set up to save school districts money and to protect school districts' interests. That's the whole reason the program exists in the first place. I'm on the board, a non-paid representative, the president of the board of trustees. It is a completely volunteer position, and it's required by state statute that the people that serve on the board on these pools, these government instrumentality pools, have to be either elected officials or employees of a public agency. That's why I serve. And also I've gained over the years a lot of institutional knowledge. As you I'm sure know at this point, serving on the school board, you know how much institutional knowledge there is that's gained over time from being involved. And why would you throw that away from years of experience and knowledge that I've gained for serving on the trust board and protecting the interests of Gilbert Public Schools and making sure we are getting the best buy in insurance? We had a claim last year, not this year, but last year, when the Highland High School's cafeteria flooded as a $1.5 million property loss. The trust took care of that, no questions asked, took care of it, and had that school back up and running with that cafeteria going again. So I'm really, really struggling with
I'm just trying to better understand. I mean, this is a fair amount of money that we're spending on the trust.
It is.
Every year.
It's a half of 1% of the district's budget, and it is a fair amount of money. And I would invite you to come down to one of the trust board meetings. Come down with me. You can get to know everybody.
Sure. Okay. All right. I think I'll do that. Thank Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, Clyde. And so another question, when a law firm, so the trust has specific law firms that work with the trust. I guess one of my concerns is where are the checks and balances once, so this public money is put, we're, as a district, we're putting the 1.5 million, 1.7 million, depending on the year, into the trust, and then there is no more accountability. Once it's in the trust, that money, there's no transparency, sunshine.
That's not true at all. It's public documents. There's an audit done by the State Department of Insurance. There's an audit done by CPA firms every year. And the trust board's responsibility, there's 9 members of the board, all of them public agency employees, superintendents and business officials from school districts across the state. There is accountability. We monitor that as well as you can pull that up.
So can a member of the public do a public records request on any paperwork done by the trust?
Not on the claims itself, on the claims issues, but on any other documents you can, yeah.
Okay, okay. So what kinds of when the trust engages in lobbying efforts, what kind of lobbying efforts?
On insurance issues, protecting the interest of the trust and insurance and the pools and that type of thing. They're not lobbying for school districts, they're lobbying on insurance issues. You know the lobbyist for the trust. Trying to blank.
Gretchen Jacobs.
Yeah, Gretchen Jacobs. You know Gretchen.
Right.
From her special needs categories. You've worked with her on that.
Right. So the lobbying efforts of the trust are to design statutes that protect the trust and the trusts. So some of the lobbying efforts have been changed, the statutes that require some of the things you talked about, for example.
You know, on negligence issues, on anything that's involved with insurance, statutes of limitations, all those things that would protect the public's interest in their school district and public dollars.
So another question is, so with the checks and balances, so what prevents a law firm, like, so the trust pays for legal advice, for example, say to the school district, the district paid, or the trust paid for the legal advice to Congress Elementary School District.
The trust has a program called prepaid legal, Ms. Burk, prepaid legal, where we pay in advance, in a premium, we pay a premium to the trust that allows those administrators, that superintendent, that school board, to get advice from an attorney on school issues. The trust does not step in and control that. That's a relationship of confidence a confidential relationship between attorney and their client. Okay? So there's that, but the trust does not pay for litigation, proactive litigation.
But they pay for the advice to proceed.
The prepaid legal program will pay for advice for attorneys to advise a school district, a school board on any legal issues that they need to understand that are relevant to school districts.
I guess my concern with that, and in that particular case, was that the district was advised using trust money to sue parents for making a public records request.
You don't know that that's the case. You're making a leap of logic in that case.
I've read the court documents in the case, and
you don't know that that attorney was advising them to proceed with litigation on that issue. How do you know that? You weren't there to get the advice. That, I'm sure, was done in an executive session.
Are you saying it wasn't?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
But the same law firm that met with them and gave them the advice, they came out of executive session and launched litigation for making public records requests to the parents. And I guess, so where I'm going with this is, so the trust pays for the law firm using the prepaid legal, and they can advise that we're gonna, that there's a good case, we should go forward. Where are the checks and balances to know that that's good legal advice, especially in that case? That case cost the school district a lot of money. They ended up having to pay the parents legal fees, the whole 9 yards. And so if the trust is paying these legal fees and then that same law firm is advising the district, they're essentially advising the district, yes, you have a case, we should take it and we should get paid for it.
You know, I don't know the facts of that case, Ms. Burke. I have not studied
I'm
that
using
case.
that in
I don't
general.
know, you know, I've heard in general that particular case in Congress school district, but I don't know the facts of that case. I haven't had any discussion regarding that.
And I guess what I'm saying is if we had if there were, and there's two factors here. One, there's the competitive nature of insurance. It's possible that we could save money. We don't know. We haven't sent it out for brokerage since
There's
1980.
not a commercial interest, there's not a commercial insurance carrier that's even in the market in the state for school districts because they can't compete.
With the trust.
Yes.
But they used to be able to.
Yes, but the reason the trust was created was in the middle 80s. They got so greedy, and it was a hard insurance market, and they were asking for so much money from the public agencies that the state legislature set up this opportunity for school districts to pool and create their own program so they were no longer dependent on these commercial insurance companies.
With some of the lobbying efforts of the school districts at that time.
Yes, I'm sure that's true.
And what I'm saying is since that time now, since 1980 something, the trust has increased the cost. And what I'm saying is it possible to go out of the state, do some sort of, because since 1980 something, the insurance industry may have changed in terms of the willingness.
As you pointed out, the insurance company is a very competitive market. If they felt like they could do something in Arizona that was better than what the trust was doing, they would be here doing it. It's very competitive. They would be here. They'd be knocking on our door if they felt like they could provide a better service. You don't think they would at the type of premium we're talking about? Absolutely they would. If the board wants me to go out and try to get a broker and do it, we didn't get direction to do that. We asked you for that direction. No one, even you, responded to that, Staci.
Well, I'm concerned that the broker that we asked was the broker from Payson.
That's not the case.
In the board memo, that was...
The memo from Crystal Corpin was
Right.
Payson.
It was a Payson broker.
It was a Payson broker.
Absolutely. I just looked at it this week.
Is that right? Well, I don't remember exactly what it was. I talked myself to a Phoenix broker.
Staci, do you want him to get back with you and clarify that?
I'll go ahead and just, okay, I'll move on to my next question, and then maybe we'll just talk about it between now and next year. So my last question is for the next item, the 7 point.
I think we need to approve this.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So we move on to,
So
wait,
now
where's the school construction? Where's
at
S-chip in this?
We're at 7.05 and we're going to vote.
Right, is is S-chip included in 05 or 06?
There's no action for SKIP.
Okay.
For SKIP. There is no action for that. We're not actively involved in SKIP.
It's under the alliance, right?
No, it's a separate entity.
And we don't contract with SKIP.
No, we don't.
Is it a free service as a result of?
This is not an
We're
agenda.
gonna, you know what, Staci, let's vote on 7.05, then we'll move.
I
Okay.
know, I was just trying to find out if that issue is
It's
part
not
of.
an agenda item, Staci.
Okay. All right, so, all those in favor, please vote electronically on 7.05. The motion passes 4-1. Okay, moving now to 7.06, approval of the Arizona School Alliance for Workers' Compensation. Dr. Allison.